And just checking that my streams are muted. Yeah, so I figured I'd hop on for a few hours. I said I might, and clearly I have. For those on YouTube that didn't catch my Twitch stream on yesterday, I stream more on YouTube than I do on. Sorry, I stream more on Twitch more than on YouTube. But I'm currently mulling over how to work that out a bit more. Just hopping on to do a bit of. What is doing a bit of casual? So on Twitch, I have I did a bunch on Xbox version. This is the PC version. Like, but like literally, I've done the one house. I've literally done the first three things are accessible, and that's it so far. And I started playing on the PC. Hey, Dot. Karen Miller, 113 Apple Avenue. Hey, Dot. You know, I mentioned to my folks. Well, I think it's time for their bungalow. It's time their bungalow met your pressure washer. It's so filthy. It's hard to tell where the background ends, where the ground ends and the house begins. And I mentioned you to Ma, her eyes lit up. Pops moaned and said the browner the porch, the warmer the torch, which clearly means nothing, so he's overruled. If you can give the place a good clean up, I'm sure I should give them both a lift. Thanks again, Cal. 550 big buckaroonies. So glad you're here. Kevin's such a good boy. He's a volcanologist, you know. Oh yes, I was going to go and check. I want to check the shop because I can't remember how much. How much was the new things? Where? Oh, I'll store it over here. Uh, $900. Well, I guess. Well, what it means is we'll be able to get it about halfway through this job. But I think you also have to buy all the extensions for it. Is that a separate thing? No. Well, it is. Well, it's a different material. It counts as a different material because it is. But I just realised I've got to grab my drink. But and kind of I'm kind of figuring out my plan for doing a bit of charity stream. I'm going to kind of figure out some incentives. Oh, you can't use the same gutter. Okay. What a fool I was. What do I count as separate things? As I said, I've done it before on the Xbox, but it's been a while since I have. It's been a while since I played in general. Never mind the specifics of having done this, because I think that purely erroneously. I thought I had completed this and I restarted it. Then I seemed to get this again. I think what it was is I had two places that kind of looked alike. So I thought I'd finished one, went into one that was something different. Forgot what I was working on. ADHD, folks. Not necessarily the best to focus. Forgot what I was working on. And, yeah. Things ensued. I'll be honest, near the end I forgot what the hell I was talking about, so not sure if it made sense. Because I'm not sure if my brain might have randomly tangented midway. I will say, I didn't see it at the time, but I also wasn't surprised when I later on heard that Jacksepticeye, who was kind of the inspiration for me to get into, well, what was going to be, oh, I'm going to go into YouTube, and realize that my editing motivations are a bit limited. I'm more interested in live streaming. But I also know I do need to return to try and doing some YouTube stuff, because you need to get some variable content. On the flip side, though, you count as the same thing, which means you're a big job. There, get stagnant of it. But, yeah. I heard about YouTube essentially trying to. They're demanding you small content creators get twice what they were asking for to be able to get the money from the thing. If you don't get the views, we get the money, of course. That is a. Part of the trouble with that is, what you're going to get there is you're going to call off, you're going to kind of potentially kill off the small content creators. I mean, content creators shouldn't be going. Well, I was about to make a real sweeping comment. I was going to say content creators shouldn't be going into content creating for money. That is that's a mixed statement to make. I'm gonna stand by it, but I do have, but it's in the grand scheme of things. But it does require some care. Why I mean, further context of meaning. Sure, if someone wants to make a bit of money off of content creation, that's not unreasonable. But if the only reason you're going into content creation is to make money, that's kind of a poor motivation. I'll be honest, and I said to myself it wasn't about making money when I first got in, but there was the greed in me. To be fair, I also didn't do enough of the push. Oh, that was it. But yeah, I'll get back. I didn't do enough pushing, which I intend to try to increase and work on. I want to grow a bit more. I remember discussing with growing with a stream. Went into a stream. There was a stream I watched called Forlar. Good streamer. I'm not sure of where he's from, but like, good streamer. I don't drop by, but I don't drop by his channel very often. But he's still a good streamer for sure. I want to try and grow. The thing is that, like, well, I mean, I think it went to imply a conversation, but the fact is, though, that growing comes with several different ways of meaning. For example, would I like to grow my audience? Yes. I don't know. I'm not saying I need to get thousands of viewers at a time in a stream. Honestly, that sounds a little bit terrifying to me. Like, level of growth I got like half a dozen to a dozen regular viewers. I would consider that a big success. I mean, no source I saw, but I can't remember the name. There was someone pointing out that we shouldn't go calling people small streamers. But it's then responding to the fact that someone made the content that someone had got like they got affiliate ship and they got like only getting like a couple of viewers, and someone had gone and made the comment of you're an affiliate, you're not a small streamer. Yes and no. I lean more towards saying no. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a couple, just the one, or even 0 viewers. If you're enjoying the streaming and you're streaming because you're enjoying the streaming, I would say you're still a small streamer. But that's not a you're only a small streamer type crap. It's okay, so you don't really draw the viewers. But you get one or two pop in, say hi now and again. Like personally, I wouldn't say only having a couple of viewers would stop you being a small streamer. I would say you still are a small streamer. But it doesn't matter. Like the key isn't the key. If the key is all about growth, that's all you care about. Now here's a conundrum. If you don't care about growth and don't want to grow, that's fine. But if you do want to try and grow, I would say that's good. That's actually quite good. Like if you're just wanting to get a little bit bigger, just see how you can do. That's fine. If you're like, I would mark it as you're using, if you like, because you might be using it as just partly why I stream, an attempt to try and achieve some personal growth, like not personal growth on the channel, just in general, achieve some growth within yourself, as it were. I don't know how much success I've had, but that's part of the reason I stream. The thing is, though, like, I'm a small streamer, and here's the thing. I occasionally get people drop by, but it's not unusual for me to stream to 0 viewers. And I'm okay with that. I do consider myself a small streamer. I'm okay with that. I want to grow. I do want to grow. There's a choice I made. There's a multitude of reasons to want to grow. I don't. It may sound weird, but I'm not sure I want to be a full-time streamer. I definitely want to stream more, which I've been working on doing. Case in point now. Like, I've gone up to two consistent days that I stream in a day. In a week, rather. Which is not a massive amount. It's not like I stream for 12. It's not like I do 10, 12-hour streams for those days. But I've increased my frequency. I don't know why I'm not entirely sure why I want to stream. Although, to be more accurate, well, no, that's kind of true. But there are things I know I want to stream that I'm wanting to work my way towards bringing in the future. There is one such event that I'm hoping to come soon. I'm having to figure out organization for timing with 5 other people. Like, do you know how much of a challenge it is to try to get organization going for 6 people? And it's fine if you kind of already do largely the same things anyway, but if you have different routines, different schedules, different timings, something worth noting is different time zones, since although most of my streams are in like, oh well, what is UK time? GMT, BST? I don't know. I don't know. My controller's gone a bit dodgy. And until... There we go, and it's reconnected. Don't know why it does that. It's a little annoying. I tell a lie. It's extremely annoying. But hey, but yeah, I want to work on growing. Now I'm of the view of you're going to figure out why it is you want to grow. There are a couple of reasons I want to grow. There may be some slight financial reasons tied in, but that's more a case of it's more a case of wanting to get certain people off my back. I do not believe I'm cut out for full-time streaming. I could be wrong. If I get viewers that start them consistently, like if I can get that level of streamer, I'd love to be proven wrong, to be able to go on, to be able to be a full-time content creator. Like, be able to get the kind of viewership where I can go and say, to quote Delboy, this time next year I'll be a millionaire. Well, not quite paraphrase, but oh, yeah, not gonna lie, it's intimidating. But the only reason I would really I'd want to be making money is so I could stream more. Like that's the thing of if I get in a position where I could stream more, and that becomes a bit of a paradox, of course, but I'll still only stream so much. But if I can get into a position where I could stream, I mean, it genuinely is at the point where, like, there's a point where it's like, oh, it's all about the money, money, money. No, it's really not like that now. It genuinely is just, I enjoy streaming. And I actually, now I've got a PC that can handle it. It's going a big way towards me actually streaming more, because I can now access PC games. I've got lots of games on Steam that I'm interested in streaming. This means that the access of avenue for content I can release has been increased. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite lucky to have the I was able to get the system that I did. how I got it was a little unfortunate, but I'm set up to be able to do more now. I mean, technologically speaking. I am considering getting myself a Stream Deck, but it's going to be circumstances happening that I might get an opportunity to do it later in the year more readily. But that is more an aside, another tangent. And there are so many tangents I could go into. And I believe already have. Because I am. Well, I was going to say I'm talking utter garbage. I don't think I am. I think I'm speaking reasonable. But, well, this is one of the challenges of a streamer. You've got to talk. I'm not gonna lie, can be draining, but I do always always have tried to do. I'm not saying I've always succeeded, but I've always tried to achieve that kind of consistent communication. I'm curious. Yes, I'm doing a lot of the calls to try and find where the bits are. But I'm sure there are people that have set themselves a challenge to do it without doing any highlighting at all. I'm sorry, but that's just not a challenge that interests me, even remotely. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. It does. Then go reflect on what the grand connotations of it would mean. Like, not least of which being the sheer amount of time it would take and the frustrations I try to figure out what needs to be done, what is completed, what is not completed. Oops. Also, this is a little bit spooky. And you can wonder, it's a little bit spooky because, I mean, of course it's an invisible wall because you can only get so much space. But, like, I don't know, there's something about an empty street that I find unsettling. Like, and if I was just here, fair enough, but it's like, nothing over there, nothing over there. Also, no washing lines. Well, I'm tangenting again. Oh, so Yeah, like I'm a little bit lost because, like, I know I started talking about Jacksepticeye. About ADHD came up, about growing as a streamer. Thing is, I've only been live for what, half an hour? Actually, I mean, half an hour. Feels like it doesn't feel like it's been half an hour, to be fair. But I will say there's a lot of hate going on in the world. Partly because there are people that want to go spreading hate in the world because they want to make money. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can get why people want to make money. It'd be cool to be rich. Oh, that's a different thing. No. See, I know that there's things down there that need to be done. That's why it's not going to ping. Ah! That's quite a big chunk that I missed there. Suddenly got a ping while that is there. And I do know that one of the best ways to go being able to secure this quickly would be getting the money. So all that money. But all that cha-ching, gonna get that bubbling. It's not about the romance, it's all about the price tag. Something like that. Unfortunately, I don't care for that sentiment because unfortunately I'm a romantic. I don't like the fact I'm a romantic. I'm not very well suited to it. Like, I have the wrong kind of mindset for it to go well with. Like, thing is, genuinely, being able to talk non-stop is a skill. And some might say it's a necessary skill for streaming. And it kind of is. And the reason I say it kind of is that it really is. But there are ways around it. I know there's like talk like chat to text messaging and stuff like that. You also just type it out and like text the chat deal for the reverse situation. Ah, so you count as bungalow roof. Okay, doke. So cleaning this should actually go a long way to cleaning the roof. But yeah. For the charity stream that I've got in mind, basically I'm going to get a bot connected. I'm going to have it spout out some regular interval, some charity commands. I need to work a bit more on setting that up. I could say of, if I was a better stream, like one of these big streamers. No, I know there are other smaller streamers. Other smaller streamers that have got a lot going. Mark is messaging me. They're getting really excited with how it's looking. Sounds like it's going great. Where are they? This is unsettling because they can see me, but I can't see them. And if they can tell how it's going, I'm not watching the inside at all. I'm not starting the windows. So if they're looking, either they are like hiding in one of these other houses or these cars, observing. Actually, that kind of makes sense. Visiting the neighbors while the house is being power washed. I'm going to assume that's what it is. And there's not a situation where they are secretly observing me from a distance. Sniper guns at the ready to take me out if I do a disappointing job. I don't like the fact that I think about these things, but clearly I do. Because I just did. So I can almost, but not quite, get on top of there. Actually, kind of more annoying than being miles off. If you're miles off, you know you've got no chance of getting up there. But if you're getting close, real close, like just short of doing it, that's far worse. So close, yet I'm so close, and yet so far. But in the end, doesn't even matter. Oh! So close. You watch me hit a point where, oh, it's that last little bit. That's where it is. Okay. Let's move on and you gutter or you roof? Your porch roof? So if there's anyone out there in the world, how are you doing? Oh. I guess I haven't been on this side at all. Yep. I think that represents a significant portion of what was needing to be done was left in that last point. See, that's the thing, though. You can leave piddly little bits and just find the patch where it's larger patches. Sometimes, especially with smallish tasks that are just niggly and fiddly, you need those fiddly little bits. But then again, I guess that with a job as big as that roof, those fiddly bits were not really worth messing with. Yeah. Anyway, charity incentives, as I said. Currently, I'm thinking £5. I'll stick a googly eye on my face. Well, that's nothing. I'll be going full cat. I'll be having the cam on for the full time of the charity stream period. But googly eyes on the face is what I'm thinking. That'd be $5. $10 would be that would be a Bean Boozle. I need to get some ordered because I do have some Bean Boozled, but they're not really Bean Boozled. They're kind of a cheap off-brand knockoff type. I mean, the same principle, but they're not properly. I just had a stray thought of, well, what if I had a bite of an apple? What if I had something healthy? But it then went on into strange territory. It's like, I'm not going to do that. It's like, but the thing was why don't I peel and eat a banana with my feet as an incentive? I'm not going to do that, but just to clarify. However, the fourth track went along these lines. Why not? Why not have a fruit? Why not have a thing healthy? Oh, why not peel a banana off of my feet and peel and eat a banana with my feet? And of course, then it occurred to me that's probably already a thing with some other channels, isn't it? Like, there's a good reason it's not going to happen with me. A, I have terrible feet. And B, I don't have anywhere near that kind of flexibility to achieve that task. Plus, of course, it's I mean, if that's something you care to do in your own time, fair enough. But it's not really. Not really something that I'm inclined to do, or inclined to watch myself. Like, I think there's certain. I think that particular situation. That's a certain kind of streamer that doesn't quite match the content that I am suited for. Partly because it's more of a younger person's game, I feel. Well, I'm going to stick with that statement. because I don't think it's invalid as a general rule. Like, unless you're like a professional acrobat or something like that, which I'm not. As much as it might surprise you to hear, I'm not a professional acrobat. I'm not sure if I could even touch my toes without a great deal of pain. Well, I can right now, but that's because right now I could just bend my legs and position and then reach out my arms. But you know, the actual way you're supposed to do it of legs straight, back straight, bend at the waist. Nah. Yeah, see, I'm not sure that I will say until I got into like the streaming region, I'm not sure it would have occurred to me about people using their feet to. And if you would have said, "Would you like to see a monkey peel a banana with their feet?" I'd probably say, "Oh hell yeah, I would." Well, I wouldn't because that's not how I tend to talk, but it'd be my equivalent of that kind of vibe. Like, if you said that would like to see a person do it, I'd probably be like, "Oh sure, why not?" Like that sounds impressive. But yeah, it's I didn't even I don't know where the point where I heard that apparently feast there's a thing about feasts. Blin, I don't know if that's because it's a new meme. When did the okay? Now here's a question I want to know because I feel like it would be a early current generation thing. When did the term meme start rising up? I say this being sure that there's stuff in like where like the generation that came before me, where us younger like when I was a kid, of words would start rising and being used, and then people and adults would be like, "Oh, when did we start talking like that?" Because of course that's got certain ties with evolution of linguistics, and of course sociological factors and ties and. Like, this is a genuine question that I'm curious to know. But I mean, for those watching, I'd say for those watching on YouTube, put down your answers in chat. I'm curious to know. But this is a lot. I don't know if you can do comments on stream video on previous live videos. That's something I've looked into. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really appreciating the breeze from my fan right now. Like it's we're in one of the short heat wave things, but luckily it's due to cool down by the end of the week. But like around Friday time, but it's like, but that's Friday. Ah, it isn't Friday, thankfully. There's Wednesday. Ooh. Like, genuinely, there's. I know there's a second one out, and I am considering hopping onto it. Well, first I need to. I think isn't I think it's on on Xbox Game Pass, so that could be an option for. Because I believe it's on there. Could reinstall it on there. I would need to check though, because there's a lot of games going on and being taken off. Not that that's a new thing. I mean, I know what I could do is I could just off stream. I could just do a load of these, like do some of the previously done areas off stream and just because you can earn coin by doing previously done ones. Like if you were to go. Oh. I do feel the one downside about this game is that you're limited as to how much soap you can buy. I mean, not that soap is too big of an issue until you start looking at things that have like just low, just like riddled with rust. Okay, apparently even Pops is out of his rocking chair now and having a look. Rocking chair? What? Like, are they in? It doesn't make more sense for them to be inside, but how can they see the outside from the inside? Is this some SCP shenanigans going on right here? Is this one of the 10,000 SCPs, or maybe even an undocumented SCP? Should I be scared by now? Because I legit am feeling scared. So maybe after I've done the windows. I'll be able to afford the other hose. Thing is that I won't have the... I think you have to buy the adapters for them separately. And I can't afford that. Are you going to be worth $6? My controller's gone weird again. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not just this controller. My other controller does it as well. And it's not just with my. And it's not just with my P. Not just with this game. It's not just with my PC. It does it with my Xbox as well. Like clearly, they make these controllers on the cheap. Obviously, they'd be wanting to do it kind of cheap anyway. But for the amount, for the price, they're like what, 50, 60 quid a pop. In fact, to suddenly just randomly decide to start drifting and the controller disconnecting, it's not good. Oh, you really kicked on there. But I think you'll come up quite cleanly. Oh! Can afford the new hose! Right, that's a lot of money to be spending, but we're gonna try it anyway. There we go. Oh, yes. That's so much smoother now. I was wondering whether I should go and... I was differing over whether to go and... save up for the tier after, or just buy this. I made the right call because this is so much easier. But maybe I will decide to do a bit of the earlier ones off stream. You know, try and get a little bit of extra coin. And what would be really nice is if I could get some of the old crowd that I did some of the Xbox version with together and do a bit of them. Do a bit of collab on the PC version. Just want to see. So the 160 more to earn. For this job. Equipment. Oh yes, I'll need the turbo nozzles later on. I'm not bothering with this soap. Even though I can have... Well, this is new. But I'm not bothering with the soap right now. I'm just going to... Thing is that the soap is good, but it's such a limited resource. And really, the only thing really worth using the soap, the only thing that really kind of needs it, but they really do need it, when you encounter rust. Like, the kind of patience you need. And Controller's gone dodgy again. Now I was doing reverse circles. Okay, I'm going to go and get that path done, because I'm hoping that by clearing the path, it'll reveal what else needs to be done a bit more readily. I wasn't originally intending to leave the path for last, but seems I've changed my mind. That could be something. That could be something I go. That could be something I decide to do. Like it could be that I decide that I go back, because there are achievements for these. Perhaps what I could do is I could go back and get the achievements done off stream for these early ones. Because I don't remember how to. I know each one has achievements, but could go back, start the doing rejobs. I could look at the achievements you need to do. Any achievements that I missed, go back and redo. Everything. Thing is that I believe that for the second one they brought out some Star Wars DLC. I mean, the DLC that interests me is more interest to me. Of course brought out in this mode, which is they did some Alice in Wonderland DLC. You know I got to do that. I've got to. Sunbrand. Speaking of branding, I have also been reflecting on the possibility of rebranding. I like my name, but I'm considering going for something shorter, you know? Something snappier. I mean, there's a weird patch. I will say there's a weird patch where people misread my name, which doesn't happen anymore. But did happen for a while. I don't know why. Where they read my name and they would read it as though I had two T's. And if it was a case of one channel had done this, it would make sense. There's several channels that had done this. Mostly Mad Hater. Like, I mean, I could see people arguing that the latter would be more fitting. I really do like this game. And the thing is, it's not like I uniquely like this game, of course. Like, I know that not only did Markiplier do a series on the game, there was a spin-off series where basically it was him and his pals. They would get people on and then they would just do some power washing and just chat away. And I legit kind of get on board, and I think that's pretty cool, pretty neat, pretty cool. Different walls. Okay. Seems that the plan I had in motion has been derailed, so therefore it's become irrelevant. Not lie, my feet are itching. I'm having to resist the urge to scratch. The reason that I've gone, I seem to have gone a couple. They're either bug bites or blisters. I'm not sure which. Like it's I'm not sure which, but I am sure. Some of which I am sure that they are a bloody nuisance. Okay, so that wall is done. Bricks done this side, so I think I'm largely done this side. So yeah, I'm a little concerned. Originally, YouTube was free. I mean, to be fair, it was inevitable that they would have to that would have to change. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of things. But I mean, shocker! A big company a big corporation is becoming greedy. Thing is that, like, it's not even like they would have been doing incrementally over a year. It's suddenly, okay, you'll need 4,000. 4,000. I forgot what the figures were. But like 4,000 minutes, I believe, of watching videos inside what, a month? I mean, currently my solution to it right now is I just have to turn off monetization. They won't. Not that I'm big enough for them to be making money off me, but in the off chance that there's any money made, they're not going to make a penny off of me. That said, you have to go in and kind of control your own content and have to be sure to go back. Because I hear that they can have a tendency to monetize videos almost automatically beyond your control. They also do demonetizations for seemingly arbitrary reasons. 86% done with this area. I think the next area is going to get started, but won't get finished. I know the next area is kind of a large area. It's not really problematic. Like, there's definitely more problematic areas later. It's just it's not as problematic. It's just that it's just a little bit big. Just a job that'll take a bit of time, but then again, all jobs takes time, just varies in degrees. See, I know there's a lot to be going, because I'm so god damn zoning out again. Sorry guys. But yeah, I know there's a lot to do, because I mean there is and there isn't. I have not. I think I got what? I know I broke 80% on the last one. I've seen what is near the end. There was one that was like a temple. Like, when I say temple, I mean it's like kind of temple is like Cthulhu-esque type, or possibly what is it? Uh, you're in the Water City. You'll come to me. Don't tell me. No, not that you can. It's quiet in here. Or you're watching from the future. But where, if you weren't, Atlantis. So like it might be like an Atlantean type. That tells me I've got posts to do. Right, I know there's this one. But there's at least four kinds of things to do, because I remember that quite well. Like that, once you get down to 3 things, you get a checklist of things you need to do. And I've not got my checklist yet. Thing is, when I say 3 things, it's 3 types of things. It's like all the walls are a kind of thing. All of the brick signings are a kind of thing. Like all the posts are one thing, all the gutters are one thing. Well, one type of thing. Each gutter is a separate gutter. But each gutter falls into a gutter. So there'll be like, you'd have 2 times gutter, 5 times posts, 1 times brick type of deal. I have a feeling that wherever it needs to be done, some of the things that needs to be done are up top. This is kind of an old game now. That when did this first come out again? I don't mean for full release. I mean like just even for when did it first come out of an early access? Like when did it first become viral type of thing? Okay, so 2 walls. So well, this is obvious. Yeah, so this is the wall and this is the wall. So the walls are both right here that need to be done to finish the walls. So that's easy enough. See? 1 wall's left. Walls are done. 1 gutter. Okay, so last post. Posts are done. Okay, so it's not that one. Means it must be this one, right? Yes. Yes, that really needs doing. Job done. Wash, 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 clean, clean, clean. Wash, 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 clean, clean, clean. Scrub, 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 clean, clean, clean. Wash, 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 clean, clean, clean. So we cleaned that and got our coin. And I'm happy for hosing that place down. Miller Place. The bungalow looks amazing, Doc. Thank you. You won't believe the impact it's had. Mars down in the woods picking flowers and Pops is muttering excitedly about another job he's got for you. So if you're from a Leonard Miller, that'll be him. So it's not presented yet. So we've got 2 of the little jobs and 2 of the. Well, we've got 2 simple jobs, 2 of the small jobs. So I would say those are simple because there's really not enough to them. I'd say they're small because there's more to them. They're buildings, but they're hardly big buildings. So this is something we're going to get started on, but not get completed. Park Warden, Buckingham Recreation Ground. Dirt Finder. I've got a frankly ridiculous situation on my hands. You see, some of the local children have been coming down with a curious and unsightly form of dermatitis, and a few fretful folks have been putting it down to the condition of the recreational facilities. It's all nonsense, of course, but if we could just humour them and give the whole thing a thorough hose down, I'll be most grateful. I mean, we're about to see why they kind of suspect this place. To be fair, I don't think it's not the worst of It's not the worst of states as things have been in. Okay, so let's start with the small stuff. So satisfying. So satisfying. Thing is, the way I've got it set up, you don't get to see the achievements pop up as I've completed them. So if I go... And there's something to be said about being able to do it so as have the VODs so that I 100%ed it on the stream, but honestly, I'm happy enough just to be spending the time just hosing these down. Ah. I mean, thing is that this almost looks like this bin could be rusted up. Just slightly. It's not rust, but it almost looks like it could be. Some little speck somewhere. Some little tiny little bit. And although usually I like to do the beam, something this small, I feel... There we go. I feel like it's different. Like, for this wide field, do a beam on here is alright because it's like, it can help try and determine where the really annoying missing little patches are. That's probably what's stopping it from pinging. But something like this bench or this little bin here, it feels a little... It feels a little like overkill. Now, I realize it's a tool that can be used at my leisure. And later on, I might return to using it a lot more at my leisure. But I will also say there's also another factor I know is going on with you. YouTube really needs to do some evaluating of its situation. So there's something that they did were trying to introduce that was good, except that it didn't work out as good. But it's a brilliant idea to go and as an AI was introduced to try and help filter out the AI videos. I believe the idea was putting shadow bans onto them. However, what's been going on is it's been shadow banning real people's content and shadow banning real people and demonetizing real people's content. And meanwhile, Meanwhile, a lot of the AI videos are still out there on YouTube. And the thing is that here's the deal. That's actually worrying on multiple levels. What it means is AI recognizes itself. Like AI recognizes us as in the same way that we recognize AI. I mean, it was a good idea. And it was good. It was a good idea in theory, but on reflection, this outcome kind of makes sense. AI has trouble registering. AI has putting in a program that has trouble creating realistic content. You know, giving extra fingers, stuff like that. Thing is, there are some real people whose level of skill with art will probably lead to them just adding extra fingers anyway. I mean, I'm curious to know, could you present a Mona Lisa, like a photographic copy of the Mona Lisa to an AI, and then get the result that they're saying of this? This is clearly AI slop. It was clearly one type thing. Clearly, we made this. We, the almighty AI. Clearly, it was us that made something this good. That's the only way I can read the situation. I mean, given this park, we need to get this. Now I'm just randomly remembered about the SCP of the slide. That's supposed to be a terrifying one. Yep, we're going to start by clearing up the... Is it Diplodocus? No, Diplodocus is a long neck, isn't it? I mean, we all know the T-Rex. That one was easy. The Triceratops is kind of distinctive, except that there are in fact several dinosaurs that have a similar build, similar fire build, although that may be due to it being essentially genetic offshoots. You know, like cousin species. Like I mean, I suppose you were to compare. Well, it's a bit like silverback gorillas and orangutans. They're both ape. Like gorillas and orangutans, they're both apes. But an orangutan is an orangutan and a gorilla is a gorilla. Like you look at the orangutan and gorilla and you say, that's an orangutan, like that's clearly an ape. Look at a gorilla and say, that's clearly an ape. Of course, you should be saying that a... Tell me, so I want to know, because I'm aware that in the, I'm just reflecting on the Planet of the Apes now. Because you know how in Planet of the Apes, like, you had the different kind of apes that there were? Like, did they go along and give the Was it a virus? Because I'm a little confused as to how it was. It's been. I didn't see all the films. It's been years since I watched any of them. Actually, I don't think I saw any of the prequel films. I think I only saw the Planet of the Apes remake. Anyway, like they did, but yeah, they did have different kinds of apes that were kind of part of the future ape community that considered humans to be animals. Also, did the apes have a religion? Like, did the apes have a religion, or were they marked out as being Ooh, I should probably be careful about how I word this. I mean, I'm not sure if atheistic quite fits. I mean, it kind of is, but I don't know if we actually how much how much we got in terms of religious connotations tied to it. Because I mean, there's certain arguments to be made that religions are a mark of intelligence. There are certain counterpoints to be made against that, given how some people act in the name of religions, but that is getting into tricky territory. However, it's my understanding that, like, be able to develop a religion, you need a certain level of knowledge and understanding. Like, you kind of need a certain capacity to be able to ask, like, to not just be thinking like me ape, but to actually start asking, who am I? But who am I really? And who actually created the stars in the sky? And I mean, there's certain arguments that can be said that religion is, well, it's kind of a case of, with science and religion, both kind of need to start with that question, of course. And I know I'm going to dodgy territory, but I feel like it's worth mentioning. There's certain arguments to be made that religion is a precursor that is needed for the early stage of science. Because the thing is, it starts off with stories, then it goes on to studies to see of new theories as to, essentially, it's creating stories, which in a sense is essentially creating a precursors to a hypothesis, or creating a pseudo hypothesis. Of course, part of the trouble is, of course, there's always been the conflict between science and religion. And I feel like there's certain individuals which are certainly kind of interesting. I mean, okay, I'm drawing work on fiction, but like X-Files, Scully, I think, is an interesting example. She simultaneously represents a state of closed-mindedness and open-mindedness. Although it's a bit of curiosity that part of the aspects that gives a closed-mindedness are certain scientific standpoints, not just religious standpoints, which I actually kind of like. A key part of science is about questioning. I think a key part of science is about questioning the science itself. The nature of science requires you to go questioning the science. Of course, the main point where science and religion clash is acceptance of evidence of the otherwise. And that's where it presents problems, because scientists will say, this is evidence that proves your perspective wrong. So therefore, we should go and explore about how it have a closer look into details of how it actually works. Whereas religion, it's a bit of a problem with religion, in that religion then presents a state of religion presents a state for the problem of the fact of the moment you go saying something is not so, kind of presents you with a conundrum that you're clearly questioning the faith. And the thing about faith, faith is a thing that you have to believe in. Science is about proving yourself right or wrong. And in evidence that proves you wrong, you should be trying to find the right answer. At least that's the theory behind it. Unfortunately, and I cite Scully as an example, people of science can be just as equally closed-minded. There's so many factors in play with regards to I think it's the foolish scientist who completely dismisses the possibility of God, although the conundrum I face is the definition of what is a god. I believe that depending on how you set the definition, there may be entities that at our current level of understanding could qualify as gods out there, potentially. Not saying there is, but it's not impossible. I mean, the examples are the nature of this thing is I have to cite sci-fi examples. Star Wars. There's the Celestials. The Rakatan could qualify, although they're no longer around either. There is I believe it was the mother and the father and the son and the daughter kind of qualify. Star Trek. This is easier ground for me. There's several examples that can be given. The easiest one is obviously the Q from the Q continuum. The reason that's the easiest example is it appears in TNG, DS9, Voyager, mostly in TNG. It returns in Picard, although one of the arguments put forward of one of the issues of Picard was pointed out to me, and I heard that people had issues with it. I didn't quite get it, and it was quite recently that there was a Star Wars podcast I listened to, Darmok and Jalad at podcast. Like, I'm not partnered or affiliated or sponsored in any way by them. No, it's just genuinely a podcast I enjoy. It's not the only Star Trek podcast I've been listening to. I think I've got three Star Trek podcasts. Like Star Trek Divas. Let's see. It's Newbie Star Trek Divas, and Darmok and Jalad podcast. The first two are kind of more American based. Darmok and Jalad at podcast is more of a UK based one. I mean, obviously you can hear it globally, but it's got a couple of people from the Yogscast crew in it. And part of the reason I like doing for the different things is it's interesting to hear different perspectives. But I'm going a bit off point here. I know, it's a shocker. Like, that almost never happens. Oh, no, it never does. Why would it with me? ADHD. Also tiredness and heat. It's either zone out completely or be a bit all over the place. But yeah, Q of the Q continuum. There are also various additional kind of god beings. Like, it might be argued of like the caretaker is certain elements of that, although I'm not sure he quite qualifies. There are a couple of different kind of god beings in TOS. Like the one with case in point, the episode with the Gorn, where it turns out there's an alien species that was like, I was saying, oh, you will fight to get out of here, because you're clearly barbaric and cruel, and yeah, like, they're not revealed until right at the end, which is a bit of a spoiler, but it's a spoiler of a show that's about 60 years old. Give or take a few years. Like, the spoiler for a classic, for an iconic episode. You have to set some limits of not worrying about spoilers. Like, it'd be like saying there's a secret of behind Vader connected with Luke Skywalker. I won't say what it is because that'll be spoilers. I've already given a lot away there as it is, but I won't give away more. Like, and if you don't know what the hell I mean, welcome, Time Traveler. But yeah, anyway, so that's like, yeah, God beings. Yeah, Star Wars, Star Trek. Like, I present the Q because the Q is the best example that appears repeatedly. I don't know much about the brother, the sister, the mother, or the father. I don't know how much they appear, but in Star Wars. But I was trying to give examples from both sides there. We see Stargate is another easy one. Spoilers, the ancients are deific beings who are on a higher plane of existence. Again, like that was revealed by season 3 or 4. Like, they went into 10 seasons. It's a commonly, for those who have at least some loose knowledge of Stargate beyond the first movie, it's a well-known factor. I don't need to go into too many details about what it is, but there are god beings, and that's the extent of the spoiler I'll give on that, besides saying these are beings that can manipulate the weather, have a kind of immortality, they're beings of energy that supposedly to be enlightened and intelligent, and in several ways may well be, but not always. Like the Q situation. I was wanting to try and give free franchise examples, and now I've done it. Like god beings, but I forgot how I got into the point about talking about the point of the god beings. So there was a reason. Oh yes, science. The fact is that during works of science fiction, there's examples about there may be essentially from our perspective, God. I mean, Q is a solid example. I mean, Q and with the Q continuum, the ancients from Stargate, they're two solid examples because there's plenty of examples of groups in there that would view them as gods or godlike beings. Not necessarily liked, but they're acknowledged as. I'm missing a. I should, because of a good counterbalance. Because an example of this, for Stargate, the Ori. The Ori were essentially they're essentially they were portrayed as the bad guys, which is a little tricky and does present an art form the argument, but they're worth mentioning because I did mention Stargate. They are ones that do kind of take down the path of you should follow our ways, we are your teachers, you should worship us. I mean, there's the girl who literally go portraying themselves as gods in Stargate. But the thing is, though, that they are hard to portray, because the fact is that, a regular human just needs to do enough damage to be able to kill a Goa'uld. A regular human with conventional weapons stands no chance of taking out an ancient. Well, a Stargate Ascended being, I should say, because it's more accurate. No chance, because it'd be like trying to take a pistol to shoot at a lightning storm. You're not going to stop the storm by shooting a few little puny metal bullets at it. There are obviously specialized weapons that you could get Yeah, but that's that's kind of a you need a way to destroy him sooner or later deal, not a like an important story point, and it's got some would have some validity because energy destroying things or what have you, etc., so on and so forth. But yeah, the point there is that there may be godlike beings. And if you want, and the counter might be of, well, they're not actually gods though; they're just extremely powerful entities. They're not actually gods. Yeah, yeah, but like again, it loops back to what is your definition of a god? Like I said, like the ascended beings have a virtual immortality. You need highly specialized weapons to be able to take them out. Like I will say I didn't care for the Ori. I get some of the theories behind it. Seasons 9 and 10 of Stargate kind of ruined the show for me. Like, possibly part of the issue is the fact of they possibly. It's good to. You need to have. Controller's gone again. You need to have villains that's. Like, you need to have villains that very much represent a threat to defeat. Like. Case in point, Thanos is it's one of the more powerful villains in the MCU. And there are enemies that are more powerful than him, but Thanos is one of the more powerful. He needs to be, because you need that threat. Otherwise, you need because if you don't have the threat, then you don't. Well, if you don't have the threat, you don't have the danger. If you don't have the danger, you don't have the drama. Like, there need to be things that you need things that can be. We can't possibly take them out. Like, case in point. Let's suppose you were to remove Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. Controller's gone again. You remove Sauron from the Lord of the Rings, and what do you have? Just a couple of lads. Like, good lads, don't get me wrong. Good lads. But just a couple of lads apparently just randomly going along to just destroy this ring. Like, I could go on to make I just had a reflection on. You could go and make the argument about. There's arguments put forward about how Sauron was just a guy, and I can't remember, was it Hufflepost or something like that? HuffPost? An old article a friend had sent to me years ago, where it's basically saying of, well, was Sauron really a bad guy? He was amongst the things he was doing, there were these minorities that he was trying to give jobs to. He was just trying to generate a bit of industry. and blah blah blah. On that line, you could also argue and now hear me out. There's also a part of the factor of why it's gone along. Of these people have gone along and taken Sauron's property with the malicious intent of destroying it. Like they're literally thieves. Of course, they're the good guys at the end of the day, but it's a kind of a spin that when you get down to it, well, yeah, I'll go with that because of the thing. But it's the kind of spin I could see Trump making. Control. No? Actually, no. I would say actually no. It makes more sense than like. It makes more sense than at least half the stuff that Trump says. But of course, that's out there in the wild now. But I'm gonna leave you out there because personal opinions. I won't throw it out there. Not everyone on the right is a problem. How do I put it? Not everyone on the right is a problem. Just the dumb ones. Particularly the dumb ones who have a great deal of power. Particularly the kind of power where they are particularly if it's the kind of power that would go akin to holding the seat of what would have been the first seat of power in theory for an entire country. Not going to name names on that one. No, just saying a prime example of opposition to have someone dangerously fought. It's worth noting that there are also problems on the far left. They're idiots. Just so that, because I do want to put some fairness out there. It's like not all the right is correct. Not all the right is incorrect. Not all the left is correct, and not all the left is incorrect. That's right, I'm something of a centralist. But I do have certain leanings. I try to avoid politics, I really do. But I know why I get into it. It's just that we just need some sensible people in charge. I say that I'm not directing about any particular one place. There are so many. There's so many places that need to have sensible people put in there. Preferably in a time when they can actually initiate real change, rather than having to tiptoe like some people have had to in the past. Meaning that they're extremely limited in what they could do. Trouble is, the only way you can achieve that path is you need to have a few waves of people, of actual sensible people, paving the way for people that can actually instigate such good changes. Trouble is, the high risk that comes on is that you end up with a situation with you'll start to get sensible people, and sooner or later, people with problematic positions. It only takes one person with a problematic position to then essentially reset the counter that is required to get risen up. I will say I have been going on a little over what I was intending to do, but I think I'll go on a little bit longer, and I want to steer away from politics now. So I talked about politics and religion and science and sci-fi and probably said some, and definitely said a few comments that some people have issue with, of course. That the counter to that is, it's hard to say something that you won't get people that have issue with. And I don't automatically expect people to have to fully agree with me. In fact, I have very much have views that I very much question myself. And I would be open to being convinced otherwise. So I would like to put in a keynote of Stu stating certain views. Not all views will I forward on. Well, perhaps you could, if you can give some actual sensible arguments. There's some of the views I have where certain valid arguments can be made that I can feel at the edge of my own mind. But the fact is that the people are actually trying to get these policies I disagree with, definitely do disagree with several of them. Like, several of the arguments they put forward are, frankly, quite often short-sighted. It's leading to the level along the lines of, but I don't like it type of argument. There are things I definitely will maintain my opinion on. That there are valid arguments that I can concede, and even though I wouldn't change my opinion, I would concede that they're valid arguments. It's just that the kind of people that tend to go for the point that I want about, they don't have the kind of thinking to think outside of bigger issues that come into play that they could make. It's always of this minority group is the problem, rather than because they are wrong, because their presence causes disruption, because rather than being okay. I said I would stop talking about it. That's part of the reason I don't like talking about politics. But yeah, I know why I was triggering it right now. It's an aware of remembering a recent law that it's concerning that it's got through and needs to get undone. Because there are people the more prominent people on the side to which I disagree with that do not understand the issue. That do not, like, they can't even understand what the like they could. Yeah, moving on. Because I want to be finish off talking about something else other than politics. It's too heavy, man. Too heavy. I mean, this actually is not a bad game to be talking about heavy stuff, but because it's the kind of game you can do in the background and just talk heavy stuff. But part of it is I don't want to be talking about. I don't want to go getting too heavily into it because I am not properly qualified, even remotely. Right. The visions I have, I'm likely to strongly stand by. Certain things I can agree with, but there are factors that I know I could. There are factors where people that would argue against me, I cannot argue against because of we just think too differently we're just too drastically different in our ways of thinking. Like I said, I'm not saying that I'm always right. They're always wrong, because that's stupid. But I really am not qualified to go too deep into it. Did you hear that the mayor's car, Ulysses, is missing? The whole town's in the lookout for him in time for the festival. We won't have spring till he's put that hat on. To be honest, if I had to wear that hat, I'd go missing. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure how I got onto that tangent there. I'm sure I didn't start out talking about politics. But, I mean, to be fair, I did start talking about heavy subjects, I guess, so... Yeah. So, well, I'm curious, if there's anyone out there, what shows have you been watching? You know, I just remembered that's how I started at the beginning. I started talking about my plans to do a charity stream. Yeah, the charity I plan to do is a charity called Mind. I don't actually know too much about them. I would like to thank Zoe for pointing out this point to me. I intend to put my application in soon. I know there are little rewards if you manage to achieve certain donation goals. And when I say rewards, I mean it's like there's like a little badge and a little trophy. You get a little T-shirt for signing up. I'll wear the T-shirt because charity. And I intend to do cam for the entirety of the Sitza streams. But mine is factors to do with mental health, and I can cite the fact that I have some mental health issues, and I'm sure I do. I think most people do, to varying degrees. But there's some that have there's some that have significantly more need of help and support than others, and Mind is amongst the charities that help. Ooh, now I got. Let's see. Play your favorite game. Mark specials. Dig guys through musicals. Create sound glitch in the kitchen. I would be interested in doing that, but I need a maybe if I get depending on how the new place I move into, when I eventually find a place. I was just gonna say, I'll wait. I didn't apply for anything anywhere yesterday. I didn't remember. I couldn't apply for anywhere. There was nowhere worth applying for. Show off your best cosplay. I would be willing to consider a cosplay stream. Oh. Another goal to put in mind. I'll say it as a £50 goal, which. Oh. I'd like a banana costume. I was thinking of that's one thing I was considering setting as a goal. But it would cover the t-shirt, so time challenges, resource center facts. Don't know how to do it. Let me see. Oh, About Us would probably be the best. Through our helpline, How Mind helps with mental health. Through our helplines, resources, and our network of local minds, we provide life-saving information, support, and advice. Campaign to improve services, challenge stigma, and make mental health a priority. And there's several things that they do. Yeah, like it's not like I say about the mental health factor. The fact that like I have ADHD and autism. Now, there's debates about how those qualify, I believe, for mental health thing. The thing is, though, that people with ADHD and autism, I wasn't that completely different. I just there's often other. If you got one condition, there's certain conditions of if you've got the one, the other conditions have a fair chance. So you've got other conditions along with it as well. Like I have a friend who is like there's one friend who I know has ADHD, autism. It's well, there are a few different. There are a couple of people I know that have a few different conditions. Like I think I don't want. I'm not going to name names. I mean, there are a couple I could, but it's. I wouldn't want to go naming them without checking with them first. Like, there's at least one I know that would be willing to talk about how the mental health issues done. There's one that I know, at least one that I know that streams. There's several factors. So much potential. I would like to. I might try and ask if a couple of them would be willing, if they'd be willing to maybe join me for a little bit of the streaming. I'll have to run it by them first. There's one I think there's a fair chance. There's one. There's one who has one who I think has a fair chance might be willing to do it for part thing, but I might not be able to lock them in. There might be someone that I ask them to say if they'd be willing, but they might not be able to do. They might not be able to do the day. If they were to just do part of the day, then that honestly that I would be happy enough with that. But I mean, it'd be a truly terrible thing to force someone. The bad thing, well, as I said about that mind, apparently one of the things they fight against is against his stigma. The stigma of certain things. But there's also a case of there's certain things that certain people would rather not be talking about, and it's worth encouraging them to do otherwise, but you certainly shouldn't force them. Plus, there are certain things that certainly shouldn't have stigma with them, but unfortunately do have such a statement of it going on. Which I wish was just bullshit, but unfortunately it's not bullshit, it's life. But mind amongst the people, it seems they're trying to work against that. Of course, there's always the outside lying chance of there's other factors going on, but like you have to be careful with that kind of thing, because yeah, there's definitely some dodgy ones out there, but I'm kind of pessimistic, but I know. But even so, I know full well you need to have some optimism of it for it to have a chance of succeeding. Otherwise, what's the point? We might as well just unite and spread a little havoc. You know, or just splinter off and spread a little havoc. There is a factor that should be mind of. It's worth. For a variety of reasons, it's a good move to try and help people with mental health issues. Not least of which is the factor of if all the people with mental health issues were to all go off all at once, then the kind of chaos that would ensue would be, sociologically speaking, catastrophic. And the fact is that there are more people than you might think that might need such help, or at least benefit from such help. I may also be doing a little bit because I want to draw people in. But frankly, I've always wanted to do some charity streams. Like, to be able to contribute to society Like, there's a certain fact that I want to put out there. Contributing society should be marked in a variety of ways. It should not be registered by how much money you earn. Although the argument is the value of the person should not be measured by the amount of money you earn. That is certainly true, but the fact is that I would argue that society is set or determined by how much money you have. That of course is certain debates. It certainly should be like that at all. But I would say there's certain arguments that can be put forward that, regrettably, that the state of cases in varying degrees, depends on which the communities you go in, the sub-communities. But society is not yet evolved to be able to properly deal. But that's why you need things like mind. I mean, we also need fewer billionaires in this world. But that starts going into spaces we want to avoid. That we wouldn't start going into earlier. I want to get stuff away from. Yeah, I see. So that's how it is. Yeah, well, it might be. So, but yeah, like there's several charities that I would like to help. To be honest, I don't really have specific charities in mind. That's a factor that I will note there. There's so many There's so many important causes out there. And yet, there's so many people who could help resolve the cause that instead seem to like generating problems. But yeah, again, there are people out there trying to help. There are people looking to try to improve the world, the society, to just help spread good and positivity and bring some sense of right into this world. Who knows, maybe one day we will become the Enlightened Federation. I don't want to go. I mean, that certainly won't be happening in my lifetime. But I'm not sure if it'll ever be achieved, to be honest. But you have to have hope. You have to have at least some degree of hope. In order to give it a chance. And that chance is much needed. It's much needed for everyone. Not to me, not to you. Well, it is for me and for you. But it's like, it's not just. The problem is bigger than us. The problem is bigger than us. That's what it comes down to. There we go. There's so many problems that need to be solved. And we need people that are trying, people stop trying to, we need problems that to stop shifting themselves the attention from them onto those that are not problems. Or at least not the real problems. As for game selections, I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. Yeah, goals I've got. I'm going to be getting some hot sauce. If it a $20 donation can get a hot sauce take. $5 googly eyes, $10 Bean Boozled, $25 is going to be painful, but it'll only be one doing a Marvel Rivals stream. And so I will have to include a Marvel Rivals stream if I use that as a goal. What it may be, though, is that during the week, people may make several donations for the Spider-Man quest. I could end up with an entire stream having to play as Spider-Man. If I end that stream and there's still no plans to do any more Marvel Rivals, I will be taking up the excess by either doing hot sauce or Bean Boozled or Googly Eyes to pad it out. I don't know. I still need to get signed up, so I need to sign up so I can see how the setup works. Tower floor. Slide guard. So I think I'm going to do up to this line, this kind of section. I'm not doing the floor because that's going to be an at the end deal, I feel. But I am nearly 5% of the way through this, so that's a good thing at least. I'd be curious to know, like, I'd be curious to know if there are people that have actually been, like, actually had dealings in mind, because I have not. Like, that would be something that'd be really good to go inviting to join me to play with me for something. So there's that, but there we go. Oh. Oh, I think the glow. I think that's just the way it looks. I think this game is satisfying and mellow, and perhaps it's something to go including in my as a stream option for the charity stream. Oh, the controller is disconnected again. That's the only issue, because I'm a controller player. That's the thing. I'm not saying I don't ever use mouse and keyboard, because I do. There are a few games I use mouse and keyboard for, but I kind of have to use mouse and... For a while, at least, I had to use mouse and keyboard for... What's it called? The Retro Rewind. They are like, I know they're planning to... I know they plan to go adding controller support, but I don't believe it's in there yet. Ah, that was an accidental ping. Ah, nice. So that's the thing of, it's actually more satisfying to see a random ping go up than to be working on an agent or a job next to it. Still not finished that job. Like honestly, see, work on this one, and seeing that random little ping there is more satisfying than... like having to go through all the nooks and crannies in here. To secure that thing. This is unexpected. And now I've got the never-ending story trying to run through my head. I think that's so I completed the other place. Most of the way I say most. It's not most of the way. I'm a little over 30% of the way in here. Like that last job was a bit of a big, it's not a truly big job, but a little bit. I mean, I feel like 31% is a respect, like I've cleaned the dino. Little face. Like, and there's still a lot to do. Like, there's all of that. I think that, like, well, that's it. It's that lot and the floor. No, super lot. Oh, that's bringing back little memories. The nostalgia. Anyway, thanks everyone who dropped by. It looked a little bit quiet, but that's fine. I like to see some. I feel like to see some chat, but it doesn't like. It's important. I don't say an obligation for it. So for YouTube, I'm probably gonna start trying to increase the amount I stream on YouTube. There's several, for those new on YouTube, there's several things, and I've anyone not caught it on Twitch. There's several things I want to do, but I'm not quite. I intend to try and work for a bit more. I'm trying to put a bit more effort in. I want to go a bit more all out when I get after I move house, because I'm currently having to look for a new place to move to. I'm not at a high risk situation, but due to circumstances, I have. It's kind of a case of it's due to circumstances I can't stay here permanently. It's a pro-con situation, but I'm gonna go raiding Linden SG live as the full handle. My usual message, of course, is hashtag #TRaid. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can raid on YouTube, can you? I don't believe you can. I might ask Linden about that when I raid him. But I wasn't sure if I'd be able to. I was able to, and I was glad I did. I'm going on a little. Started later than expected, so I thought it's got to be shorter. I'm tempted to go on for longer, but I should probably get something to eat. I mean, I do. It is more satisfying to hit at precise hour marks, but I'm hungry. That's the thing. I might do an extra stream tomorrow. I'm unsure. If so, I don't know what I'll stream. So many options. That's part of the trouble. But I'm going to go and ready to go call it off. But for now, thanks for watching, and remember, we're all a little mad. Be good, be kind, be safe, be well, wherever possible. See you all around. I still need to work on inflections, I guess. But I'm trying to enunciate there. Bye, guys.